So uh, we usually think about skin hydration for, looking good, getting that healthy glow.
Right.
But it's actually way more vital than just appearance, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely. It's fundamental. We're talking about the skin's basic job protection, staying elastic, even how it handles irritation.
Yeah, it's function.
Exactly. Hydrated skin is really the foundation. And that's what we're diving into today, looking at hydration levels across different body areas and, importantly, what lifestyle factors actually influence them.
Right. We're basing this on a recent study, pretty interesting title, Impact of Lifestyle on Differences in Skin Hydration of Selected Body Areas in Young Women.
Hmm.
And honestly, it throws up some surprises, like how different hydration is from, say, your face to your legs.
Yeah.
And it gives some really practical ideas, too.
Yeah, definitely actionable insights. Our mission here is pretty straightforward. Pull out the key findings from the study, break them down, and make them relevant for you. Maybe make you think a little differently about your own skin.
Okay, let's jump in. So the big picture first. What did the study generally find about hydration across the body? Was there a clear pattern?
Well, yeah, there was. They used this device called a corneometer.
Corneometer.
Yeah, you can sort of picture it like a little moisture detector for the skin's surface layer, the stratum corneum.
Okay.
It measures electrical conductivity, basically. Since water conducts electricity well, higher conductivity means more hydration. The scale they use goes from 0 up to 130 relative units.
Got it. So what was the trend?
The trend was pretty clear. The face generally showed the highest hydration levels. Then came the cleavage area, then the neck, and bringing up the rear were the legs. They were the driest.
The legs. Okay.
Yeah.
No big surprise there, maybe. But the face being the highest is interesting. Let's zoom in on the face then. Was it consistent across the whole face, or were there differences there too?
Oh, definitely differences. And statistically significant ones, too. They measured the chin, forehead, and cheeks. And the
Yeah.
chin came out on top. It averaged around 106 units.
Wow, that high.
Yeah. Whereas the forehead and cheeks were quite a bit lower, both hovering around 91, 92 units. And that difference compared to the chin was significant, statistically speaking.
Huh. Why the chin, do you think? I sort of associate the T-zone, like the forehead and nose, with being oilier, maybe more hydrated.
That's a really good point. It could be down to the density of sebaceous glands, maybe, or even, how people apply products. Maybe the chin gets a more thorough application sometimes.
Could be.
The study did mention that most participants reported having combination skin, so that oily T-zone you mentioned, but maybe drier or normal cheeks. And acne was apparently a common issue for them.
Okay, that context helps. And what about their skincare routines for the face? Did this study look into that?
It did, and it was, well, a mixed bag, sort of.
Hmm.
A huge majority, 94%, said they used products suited for their skin type, so that's good.
Yeah.
And surprisingly, maybe 90% said they never used a solarium, so awareness about tanning bed risks seems high.
Good.
But, and this is a big but, only 5% reported using UV protection year-round.
Only 5%. Wow. That's quite low, especially thinking long term.
It really is something to consider.
Definitely. Okay, let's move down from the face. What about the neck and the cleavage or neckline area?
Yeah.
I have to admit, I'm probably less careful with moisturizer once I get past my jawline.
I think a lot of people are like that. For the neck, they measured 3 spots: left, middle, right.
Yeah.
The middle point actually showed the highest hydration, around 49 units. That was noticeably higher than the sides, which were in the low to mid 40s.
The middle again. Any theories? Maybe less sun exposure there or friction from clothing?
Could be structural, could be exposure, yeah. It's hard to say definitively from this study. They did note that people who identified as having combination skin on their neck tended to have slightly higher hydration there too.
Interesting.
And yeah, the findings sort of suggested that neck care wasn't quite the priority that facial care was for this group.
That absolutely rings true for me. Okay, and the cleavage area, the neckline.
So across the neckline, they measured near the collarbones, and the sternum, the hydration levels were actually pretty similar across those points. No significant differences there.
And how did it compare overall?
The average was in the mid-50s, so generally a bit more hydrated than the neck, but still quite a bit less than the face.
Right.
And for skin type in that area, it was fairly evenly split between normal, dry, and combination.
Okay, so recapping. Face is most hydrated, then cleavage, then neck. Which brings us to the legs. I'm guessing this is where the numbers really drop.
You guessed right. Spot on. The leg skin was by far the driest area measured.
Any difference between, like, thighs and calves?
Yes, actually. And it was statistically significant. The thigh averaged around 31 units, while the lower leg, the shank, was slightly higher at about 33.5 units.
Still quite low compared to 106 on the chin.
Exactly. A really noticeable difference.
Makes sense. My legs definitely feel drier. Now, the really interesting part for me is the lifestyle stuff. Let's talk water intake. How much did drinking water affect skin hydration?
Okay, this is where we get some really practical takeaways. The study found a definite positive link, especially for the legs.
Ah, for the legs specifically.
Yes, the connection was statistically significant there. People who reported drinking more water generally had higher hydration levels in both their thighs and their lower legs.
Okay, that's a clear win for hydrating from the inside out, at least for the legs.
It seems so.
Did they find that link for other areas, like the face or neck?
Well, interestingly, for the neckline area, they didn't find a statistically significant difference based on water intake.
Oh, why not?
The researchers suggested it might be due to the sample size they used for that specific comparison being a bit smaller. So, it doesn't definitively mean water has no effect there, just that this particular analysis didn't show a strong statistical link.
Gotcha. So message is, definitely chug that water if you want happier legs.
Pretty much.
All right, what about exercise? Does being active help or hurt?
Good news here, too. Physical activity also showed a positive association with skin hydration.
Really? How so?
People who reported exercising 2 or more times per week tended to have, on average, higher skin hydration levels overall compared to those who exercise less frequently.
That's great. Did it matter how intensely they exercised? Like a gentle walk versus a major sweat session?
In this study, the intensity itself didn't show a statistically significant direct link. The p-value was 0.295, so not below the usual threshold. However,
Yes.
they did observe a trend suggesting that more frequent activity, regardless of intensity perhaps, seemed to correlate with better hydration. So consistency looks like it might be the key factor here.
Consistency over intensity, maybe. That's encouraging for people who prefer moderate exercise. So regular movement is good for skin hydration. What else? I saw something about skincare knowledge.
Yes, this was fascinating. They asked the women how confident they felt about knowing how to moisturize their skin properly.
Did confidence matter?
It really seemed to. The women who rated their knowledge higher, who felt they knew how to moisturize effectively, actually had significantly higher hydration levels in their leg area.
Wow. Specifically the legs again.
Yes, the finding was significant for the legs, compared to those who were less certain about their moisturizing know-how.
So is it just believing, like a placebo? Or does knowing actually translate into doing it better or more often?
It's much more likely the latter, I think. If you feel confident you know how and why to moisturize, you're probably more likely to actually do it consistently and effectively, especially on areas like the legs that, as we've said, often get overlooked.
That makes total sense.
It does.
And all these factors, water, exercise, proper care,
Yeah.
they tie back into the bigger picture of why hydration is just so crucial for overall skin health, not just looks.
Precisely. It's not just about avoiding that tight, flaky feeling. The paper referenced other research linking good skin hydration to all sorts of health aspects.
Like what?
Well, things like better nerve function in people with diabetes, potentially influencing blood sugar levels, improved healing of diabetic foot ulcers, which is huge. And even in conditions like eczema, studies show that better skin hydration correlates with less severe symptoms. Using emollients boosts hydration and improves the skin barrier.
So it really underpins the skin's ability to function properly and heal itself.
Exactly. And it goes beyond just fixing problems. Another study mentioned found that even skin considered ideal or very healthy tended to have higher hydration levels and also a healthier skin microbiome, the community of bacteria living on our skin.
Right, so optimal hydration is a feature of truly healthy skin.
Yes, it seems to be a key marker.
So if we had to boil it down, based on this study, what are the main levers we can pull to improve our skin hydration?
Looking at their findings, the big 3 seem to be 1, making sure you're getting adequate water intake, 2, incorporating regular physical activity into your routine, and 3, having good skincare knowledge and applying it consistently, especially focusing on those drier zones like the legs.
Simple but effective, potentially. Now, we should always mention limitations in studies like this. What did the researchers themselves flag?
Yeah, good point. They were upfront about it. Firstly, the study group was quite specific. Young female university students in Poland. So generalizing these exact numbers to say men or older adults or people in different climates might be tricky.
Okay, that's important context.
And second, a lot of the lifestyle data, water intake, exercise, skincare habits came from questionnaires. And whenever you rely on self-reporting, there's always a chance people might not remember perfectly or might, slightly misreport things. That's called recall bias.
Right, standard limitations for that kind of research method. Good to keep in mind. Okay, so wrapping up this deep dive on skin hydration, what's the main takeaway message you think people should hold on to?
I think the biggest thing is that skin hydration isn't this uniform blanket over your whole body. It varies quite a bit.
Yeah.
And crucially, simple, everyday lifestyle choices, drinking water, moving your body, knowing how to care for your skin, they genuinely seem to make a measurable difference.
It really is surprising to see the contrast, like between the face and the legs,
Yeah.
and then to see that something as basic as drinking water shows up significantly, especially for those drier leg areas.
It really highlights that connection between our internal health and habits and what shows up on our skin. It gives us some agency, some practical steps we can take.
Absolutely. So maybe a final thought for everyone listening, thinking about this. Which areas of your skin might be getting a bit neglected on the hydration front? Is it your neck, your
Yeah.
legs, your arms maybe?
Mm-hmm.
And could a small tweak, maybe that extra glass of water, or actually remembering the body lotion after a shower, make a difference for you? What other questions does this spark about your own skin and how you care for it? It's all about taking these insights and seeing how they fit into your own life.